the Harvey Grandma banger, the Whiskey Salty, a cilantro julep, Death on the Beach, a Blue Curaçao. Once upon a time, a while ago, I asked you all to come up with a way to ruin a cocktail by changing one word. You did it, we did it. I felt an itch. I wanted to do it again. So today we're gonna do it again. I got a whole new list of ruined cocktails to make. Very excited to make these. And actually, this is the twist. I think some of these might even be okay. I was looking through the list. I had to prepare some ingredients to make this episode because some of them just required me to get a little outside of the box. And I think some of these, at least one of them, might be a pretty cool drink. So I'm excited to try them. Today, let's ruin a cocktail with one word, like we did before again now. All right, let's just get it started with the first one in the list. Comes from YouTube commenter Freya0331. They suggested a 3 Mile Island iced tea. And I gotta say, Freya0331, you're not the only person to suggest the 3 Mile Island iced tea. This is a very popular suggestion. Of course, a play on the Long Island iced tea, which is an alcoholic cocktail that contains no iced tea. And 3 Mile Island, often referred to as a nuclear disaster. In fact, huge nuclear success. Nothing went wrong. Every fail-safe system worked fine. Nuclear power for the future. You know the anti-nuclear power movement, you know, the green movement that was surrounding nuclear power, and you can't hug your kids with nuclear arms. Pretty good idea. Pretty good slogan, invented by the oil industry. Nuclear power is good. I'm for it, for the most part. For the most part. Anyway, and again, 3 Mile Island, nothing went wrong. System broke. There was a problem. Fail-safes protected the problem from progressing. Nothing went wrong. I'm serious, it's not a joke. That's a true story. You can look that up. So, 3 Mile Island iced tea. Obviously, I gotta do some kind of a version of a Long Island iced tea that is radioactive. Midori. Oh, or apple pucker. Ooh, tough call here, folks. We gotta have something green. It's funny, I wonder if I should organize my spirits by color. I wish I could put this to a vote. Midori or pucker? I gotta say, I was leaning Midori when I put this idea together, but the pucker feels more inappropriate. I think we're gonna go pucker. My notes even say Midori, obviously. No, pucker. I'm about 1.5 inches taller now because I got a anti-fatigue mat down here because it's rough on your feet standing on concrete for hours, which is where I am. So, lifts. So we need 1 lemon. I need 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice for this. 1/2 ounce of rum. I'm not gonna use my good rum for this. We're gonna use this bottle of Bacardi Black I bought years ago. Who knows why? Okay, a little more than 1/2 ounce. That's the way they're gonna pour it on Long Island anyway. 1/2 ounce of gin. The 3 Mile Island iced tea. I'll bet that there's already, I don't bother to look because it would ruin the episode. But I'll bet that there's already many Long Island iced tea versions of a 3 Mile Island iced tea. 1/2 ounce of tequila, using the Cuervo 1800 Reposado that I saw when I prepped this episode. Triple sec. So, okay, triple sec, Curaçao, kind of interchangeable. Triple sec might be a little less sweet. I feel like whatever weird color we get out of using apple pucker plus Blue Curaçao will be it's correct. It's the right choice here. This will only help it look more atomic. So, there you go. 1/2 ounce of Blue Curaçao. 1/2 ounce of apple pucker. And this is where I'm swapping the vodka for pucker. Smells so good. I wish I had a clear cola. I do have a bottle of ancient Pepsi Clear. It does work for the theme, but it'll be absolutely room temperature. All right, this seems insane. I was gonna use Coca-Cola, but I happen to have a bottle of Crystal Pepsi, room temperature. It's never been opened, but what am I gonna do with it, right? And I want the weird color of this. If I put Coca-Cola in here, it's just gonna turn black. Why not use Crystal Pepsi? Let's do that. All right, cool. We'll shake this. I think I want to do something here too. I want to put this on a big cube. See, this is what I'm saying. Putting black Coca-Cola on that would be a mistake. It'd lose all that crazy, weird looking color. Some 20-year-old Crystal Pepsi, dead flat. Okay, all right. Maybe there was some logic to using fresher cola here. I just did this review of all the cherries, so I have all these really weird cherries. Why not garnish it, not with a red cherry, but with a green one? The only thing better maybe would be blue. These are terrible cherries. They don't taste very good. It tastes like cream soda at best. I had this other idea too, right? That we needed like some more nuclear elements in here. I've never been like a Warheads kid. These were never my particular flavor of candy. But the idea of being able to throw a Warhead in there, see if it like does anything, if it fizzes or something. I was thinking maybe it would fizz, but okay. Well, much like 3 Mile Island, much like the real 3 Mile Island, no nuclear disaster has occurred. There it is, the 3 Mile iced tea. Ah! That was almost a disaster. This off-weight cocktail pick, almost stabbed me in the eye. So we'll just put you down in there. That's fine. It's as good as any other Long Island iced tea I've ever had. I don't think that the pucker is doing that much work in here versus just the vodka that it replaced. It's getting a little bit of snap. It does have the taste of kind of an Arnold Palmer, a lemonade and iced tea crossed. So, I mean, like, that is funny how how Long Island iced teas work, but they do. My Crystal Pepsi, I wish it was fresh. I wish it had been fresh. I think you can't deny the instinct here to use the colors, right? To not use cola. I mean, the one thing I could say would be cool, like maybe you do a float of cola on this one. That might actually look pretty neat. Nah, doesn't really look, I mean, it looks kind of cool going in like that, but in practice, that doesn't really look that cool. It was cooler before. As far as ruined being goes, I'm coming to the conclusion that it's hard to ruin a Long Island iced tea. The 3 Mile version is just kind of more fun. Could I have gone further with it? Maybe. Would a Warhead, that's a real question, because like if I'm missing the boat here, let me just get, oh, well, this is perfect. We have this glass on standby. The one question I want to know is, did using my flat Pepsi deny me the joy of like a Mentos and Coke kind of thing happening here by virtue of putting a Warhead into Coca-Cola? I don't think it did. And in fact, I probably already just now off-gassed it so much. Ooh. Not much. Okay, well, that's number 1. Ruined. Oh, gazoosh. Is this a cursed drink? Nah. It's not a good drink, but I'm not calling it cursed. I hate these green cherries so much, I'm not going to eat them. I'm not even going to bother wasting my energy on them. I could serve you this as a Long Island iced tea, and I doubt you would even know that it wasn't a standard Long Island iced tea that was somehow just magically blue. Should I have gone further? I don't think so. I think that, okay, so here's the thing. 1, I'm putting on this on you. You failed to ruin that drink. You could have gone further. No, I mean, it's obvious it's on me, but the drink has to remain the thing. It can't become, you know, just a drink called a 3 Mile Island iced tea, or can it? Or should it remain a variation of a Long Island iced tea? Boy, now we're getting into the existential questions of cocktails, the politics of dancing. Because if I were to make a drink that was just a 3 Mile Island, as opposed to a Long Island iced tea, how would I approach it? You know, if it wasn't a variation of a Long Island iced tea, it's its own drink, 3 Mile Island iced tea, how would I do that? I don't know. I can't come up with anything other than that. I got a variation on a Long Island iced tea that is nuclear. I gotta move on. I gotta do the next one. I was looking at my notes and I was much too excited about the next one, the Pine Colada. Not a pina colada, a Pine Colada. Now, how the heck does one make a Pine Colada? Well, when I saw that suggestion coming from No Opinion D, it's either No Opinion D or N Opinion D. N Opinion D, No Opinion. N Opinion. Anyway, YouTube commenter N Opinion D suggested the Pine Colada. Now, that's a brilliant idea. You know, great. You barely changed anything and you came up with a whole new drink. Coincidentally, I had just been given this Zerben's Pine Liqueur, and this is literally a pine liqueur. That's what this is, Zerben's Pine Liqueur. And I thought, well, that's perfect. We will use this. Stone Pine Liqueur of the Alps, Josef Hofer, Steiermark, seit 1797. Österreichische Liqueur. Okay, something. German, Austrian. So it's going to be a variation on a Pina Colada, but it's going to be a Pina Colada, a Pine Liqueur Colada, a Pine Colada. I guess the idea is that you would remove pineapple juice from a Pina Colada and you would replace it with Pine Liqueur somehow. Interesting idea. I think we're gonna have to have a little bit of both though, right? Well, okay, let's think. We need rum, We're gonna have to have some rum in here. Which rum should we use? I guess we can use our Bacardi Black. It's here. It's here. So 1.5 ounces of Bacardi Black. Ta-da! That's potent. Sure. Let's just match it. Let's do 1.5 ounces of Pine Liqueur. Done. What's the ABV on that? 35%. So it's pretty proofy stuff for a liqueur. Let's add in 1 ounce of cream of coconut that I made. So normally you'd have pineapple juice in a pina colada. I'm not gonna do that, although I brought my cans of pineapple juice anyway. Maybe like a little lime juice, like a half an ounce like a half an ounce of lime juice. Just to give it a little bit of acidity, a little bit of a kick. There we go. Ice, just helping to break it up. If you're a regular of the show, you might be saying, but Greg, why are you not using that beautiful antique blender that you bought just for the show? And the answer is because that beautiful antique blender had a beautiful antique glass carafe that I stumbled into while I was cleaning up in here and shattered. And so I have to buy a new carafe for it. Wah, 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 wah. It looks like it wants 1 more cube. Just trying to get that texture right. That looks good. Why not this glass? Oh, what a weird aroma. Whoa. Whoa. Might have gotten this a little too thick. Yeah. Yeah, it's a prototype. It's a very attractive drink. A pine colada. I'm getting pine notes. Yeah. Pine and nutty. It's gonna sound weird. It's undersweet because of how cold it is. It needs more. It could just be plain simple, but in the interest of the theme, I'm gonna add more cream of coconut to this and then reblend it because it's really kind of just muted tasting. It doesn't have a lot of hoots in it. And I think that's because cold changes your perception of flavor. So we'll just add another ounce and see where that gets us. I don't necessarily want it to be great, right? We are trying to ruin the drink, but I would like it to have some kind of it should make an impression at the very minimum. All right, let's see if that addresses some issues here. A little more pourable too. Yeah. There we go. 1 pine colada. I'm gonna eat it with a spoon. What a weird thing. It's crazy. It does still kind of taste like pineapple. Striking out here again and again. I kind of like this. The pine liquor becomes pineapple, I guess, in the presence of these other flavors, sort of on its own. Let's just try a little of the Zerbens on its own. Maybe we're doing this the wrong way. Oh wow, that's piney pine. Wow, pine. Oh, okay, wait a second. All right, if that's what that's supposed to taste like, we ruined it somehow. Not in the right way though. There's none of that is coming through. I'm gonna do this again. This one I'm doing again. We really missed it this time. All right, gotta start this over. We gotta do a new approach on the pine colada. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this a double because of the volume of the blender, right? So we're gonna do 4 ounces of Zerbens pine liqueur, no rum, 2 ounces of cream of coconut. Pretty easy to make this, by the way. It's full fat coconut milk and sugar. That's it. Some people throw a dash of salt in there, sure. Yeah, and I think we will add some pineapple, but we're gonna add pineapple chunks here. It's just gonna go to the theme, just some, right? Just throw it in there. There you go. That'll add texture, that'll also add flavor, obviously. Pineapple juice is gonna come out of that. It's pineapple. It's pineapple. We're just, yeah, this will be good. Ice. Let's get that in there. All right, let's just blend that sucker up. I think that's gonna be really something. Okay, it has a powerfully Zerbens aroma. This smells like pine. Put some garnish on it or whatever. The pine colada. That is so weird. Yes. Oh, it's such a weird aftertaste. You gotta take a good swig of it. I really like it, actually. It's probably really sweet because Zerbens is a liqueur. It has an overwhelming pine forestal note. It reminds me, we're going back to Disney again. I feel like there's a part on the old Soarin' in California called Soarin' over California, where you're like over the Yosemite or whatever and you smell pine trees. That's what it tastes like. It's pretty awesome. Not ruined, weird, powerful pine notes, pleasant texture. The coconut definitely, it's not really cutting through, but I bet it's somehow moderating this. Could you use a different syrup? Probably. I suppose if you really wanted to, I don't have any, but I actually might have some syrup of that. There's a Mogillo. It's a syrup made from pine cones. Okay, sure. Probably should have used that if I had thought about this more, completely. But then there'd be no colada, right? Because I assume it's probably not. I think colada means strained. I think Pina Colada is strained coconut or strained pineapple. Colander, Colada. Right, and so there's no coconut necessary in a Pina Colada if we're just going by the name. Okay, we could have used Mogilio, but I don't think we need to because it has a really lingering, lasting pine aftertaste. It's not overwhelming. It's very unusual, specifically for a drink that looks like this, right? Like you expect this to be like beachy, but instead you get like national parks, alpine. I like it. I find it really refreshing. I like it a lot. Would I swap out my Pina Coladas for these? Probably not, no. But they're pretty cool. The Pine Colada. All right. Long story short, what we've learned today so far is that a Long Island iced tea is already bad enough that you can add all the nuclear waste to it you want and it won't get any worse. And that a Pina Colada might actually be better when it's a Pine Colada. This is pretty interesting. New grounds being charted here today on how to drink. But that brings us to my next drink. And this drink comes from Eyes of Sin. Eyes of Sin is a member of my Patreon. She has been supporting the show for a really long time, Eyes. So thank you so much. They suggested this one in our Discord. If you guys want to get into our private patron-only Discord, Patreon is the only thing that makes this show possible. I can't keep doing it on YouTube revenue, to be crass about things. Like YouTube revenue is not what it once was, and this is a full-time job for me and other people, and it takes a lot of effort, and there's no time in any human's life for this to be a hobby. So if you would like the show to continue and you enjoy the show and you want to see more from it, please check out my Patreon. You can find it at patreon.com/howtodrink. Through my Patreon, not only will you get access to our private Discord, which I think actually all of the remaining suggestions come from, you will also get access to the HTD app that makes my show so much easier to use as your own private cocktail guide. You will get access to behind-the-scenes looks, updates, access to our private Discord community, which is a really cool place where lots of things are talked about, extra content, episodes without ads, all of that. Anyway, not trying to make a hard sell about it. Just take a look if you like the show, and if there's anything over there that makes it worth your while, I will see you in the private Discord. And thank you to my patrons for making all of this possible. One of whom is Eyes of Sin, who suggested the Whiskey Smash Bros. Pretty smart, Eyes, I like that. So it's a Whiskey Smash Bros. And those are my notes, right? Obviously it's a play on the Mario and Whiskey Smash, Smash Brothers. I don't know how to make it into a Mario drink, but I think I know how to make it into a bro drink. So it's like a Whiskey Smash is whiskey, simple, mint, and lemons. Really, that's it. We have to bro that up. So how do I do that? How do I bro up a Whiskey Smash? I had thought I knew how to do this. Now I'm questioning my instincts. So it has to remain whiskey. So I can't say, oh, right, we'll use a bro liqueur, some, bro booze, whatever that happens to be. No, it's got to stay whiskey. Fine. Is there like bro whiskey, and do I have any bro whiskey? I don't think so. Well, maybe. Maybe that Jameson Black Barrel. Nah. I don't have any whiskey that I would tarnish with the term bro. Is it a cheat? Do I just like make it with G Fuel or Red Bull or something? Is that what it is? I feel like that's what it is. I don't know what else I could do. I have a can of Monster I bought in anticipation of this. Zero sugar Monster Ultraviolet. I just picked it at random. It looked bro-y. It's got L-carnitine in it, whatever the heck that is. Welcome to the 70s, a hazy purple funk? Okay, sure. I also asked her out, I was like, well, what's the most broed out drink? And my brain always Red Bull, but I don't know if that's generational. Maybe Red Bull's not the bro drink anymore. I think it was in my Discord. They also said Monster, so I grabbed this. Usually a Whiskey Smash is, of course, lemon and mint and sugar. Well, what if we just replace the sugar with this? I think that's it. I think that's the whole shebang there. All right, we're gonna start by throwing some mint into our glass. Some real skunky mint. Some lemon slices. Muddle. Some whiskey. Oh yeah, perfect. Old Grandad. I like the Old Grandad Bottle and Bond. I don't know how I wound up with this one. This one is less than, it's not my favorite Old Grandad. Ice. Give that a good stir. And our delicious Purple Monster. Oh yeah. There you go. There you go. Whiskey Smash Bros. Thank you, Eyes of Sin. Yeah. Oh! You think it's bad, but it gets worse. This one sucks. Starts out, it's almost indistinguishable from a Whiskey Smash. You're like, yeah, okay, mint, lemon, whiskey, I like that. Weirdly dry up front. because whatever the artificial sugar is in our Monster Purple is slower than the other flavors because it's super sweet later. It is just lemon and mint and some whiskey up front, and that transitions into sweet and lemon, like too sweet, like crazy sweet, like the sweetest, most obnoxious lemonade you could imagine. What is that flavor that it ends up at? I'm gonna throw a little extra in here just so that I can get a better sense of it. It's like a weird creamy flavor, a little rubbery. Garden hose notes. Oh, there it is. Grape, grape, grape. Thank you. I like literally am looking at a purple can, and the way my brain works, I could not connect it back to grape until I tasted it again. Grape. It tastes like bad, fake grape, cartoon grape candy juice. Grape soda. Bad grape soda plus lemon and mint. Oh. Later, it finally gets all the way around to grape cough syrup. This drink sucks. Thanks, bros. Eyes of Sin, you did it. You've made our first truly cursed cocktail on this episode. Not the most cursed cocktail I've had, but this one definitely ranked. It belongs into the halls of cursed cocktails. Certified cursed. Thank you, Eyes of Sin, for all of your support. I'm gonna wash it down with some nice pine colada. Get that flavor out of my mouth. Whoa. By comparison, that now really tastes like Disney World pine scent pine. We are just having so much fun here. Just so much darn fun. So much fun. Okay, next drink. All right, this one I'm actually kind of excited about. I think that this one has high potential. This one comes from another member of my Patreon who hangs out in our Discord. By the way, I don't know how to pronounce most of your Discord handles, so we're gonna do my name. It's Mulgay or Muglay or Muglay, I don't know. But regular, we chat a lot. Thank you so much for making the show possible. Suggested the Boston Sour Milk. Brilliant name, I love this. The thing is, this is the one I think has the highest potential to be actually a good drink. Hear me out. Actually, don't even hear me out. Watch me work. Let's see what happens here. This could be something. What we're gonna do is we're gonna basically make a milk punch. So we're gonna start with our lemon. So let's get 1 ounce of lemon juice. I need 2 ounces of whiskey, and Yellowstone bourbon is fine. We should use that. It's in fact, pretty damn good bourbon. Just ask Ranger Greg. 1 ounce of oleosaccharum. Now, oleosaccharum is made by essentially extracting oils from lemon peels with sugar. And the oils come out and they dissolve the sugar and they become a syrup together. So this is lemon oil and sugar combined, oleosaccharum. We're gonna use 1 ounce of it. Is that a lot? Yeah. I make this in a vacuum chamber. So that's our sweet and our sour and our strong. I usually do a sour with like 1 ounce of sour to 1 ounce of sweet, just sort of my ratio. It's cheat it one way or the other. Sometimes on a daiquiri, I'll tone the sweetness down, but we'll go with this for now. And now, I'm gonna take that whole thing and I'm gonna pour it into milk. Yes, the milk will curdle. That might be more milk than I want. So what we'll do is we'll actually pour the milk into this. I'm gonna stir that up really good. So this filter setup is actually for vacuum filtration. I was looking for a quick way to set up a coffee filter and I was like, you know what? This particular combination has exactly the same like porosity as a coffee filter, and it's within reach and it's easier for me to set it up. But yeah, a coffee filter in the screen or something like that would be fine. Unfortunately, because of the way I decided to do this, you cannot really see, but this is curdled milk in here, and that's good. What's happening there is, give me a second here to work this out. I think the casein is binding to the bitter components, usually like from tea and stuff like that. But anyway, it's the lemon and the casein are bonding, and that's what's forming the coagulation. And we're gonna filter that out, coagulation, whatever, curdling. And it's going to leave behind a silky lactose magic drink that's like still got all that lemon flavor with less bite. It should be good, should be good. So let's just filter this. And this is a rig for vacuum filtration. So if it does happen to need a little extra kick, I can get the vacuum pump, but I don't think it will. I think it'll pour through on its own. I said I think it'll pour through on its own. It is starting to pour through on its own, but I'm very, very impatient when I'm making the show. So we'll just use the vacuum pump. Here we go. Stick that up there. It's worth it. It's gonna be so worth it. Let's just flash forward into the future. Okay, well, one, I'm really glad I got my vacuum pump and I happened to go this route because this took forever. But two, as you can see, it's really clear. I mean, it's got color, it's got a hue, but it has no particulate whatsoever. It's completely clear. There is more up top. I don't need that much. We have enough. That's a drink down there. I got tired of waiting for this. This was taking forever. Let's just move it along. So this is, I mean, that's clarified. Clarified. This is clarified. You can see that that is very, not colorless, but for what we mean when we say clear, this is clear. I can read through that. It may not be looking that way on camera because there's a backlight and everything, but I can look straight through this. I could read through this. Smells good. My question is, does it still have enough acidity in it to foam an egg white? I think the answer is yes. So let's just give it a quick taste off the tip of this. Well, let's find out. I don't know, it's debatable. If it doesn't, I will acidify it. Part of me is like, this drink is now perfectly clarified. What's cool about it is that we don't need to add an egg white to this. However, I'm told this is a Boston sour milk. So it still needs to have an egg white in order to satisfy the requirement of being a Boston sour. So we're gonna dry shake that. Oh yeah, we're good. Now I need to add some ice. Shake that up. Choose a glass. I have chosen one. The glass has been chosen. Look at that. Now, if all goes according to plan, this should develop a thick head at the top and a very clear bottom. So I'm just gonna give that a moment to develop. Well, it actually didn't. You can see that there is a line developing here, separating the head from the bottom. And as I must do whenever I have this kind of a drink, I must garnish it with a few drops of bitters, and we will drag them into a swirl. Delish. So something about shaking it with an egg white basically reclouded it. Maybe not, maybe that's just haze. Oh, whatever, it looks good. It, I'm sure, is about to be delicious. This is a Boston sour milk. Whew, that's a delight. It is so silky. A drink with an egg white in it to begin with is like silk. This has also been milk washed. The texture of this is absolutely slippery in a very cool way. Strangely thick. The froth on the top of this is like whipped cream. Usually that egg white foam on the top has some texture to it, but I mean, here it is. It's dense. I've never had a drink quite like this. It's weird because when you drink a Boston sour, you expect a higher level of acidity. You expect more bite, but because this has been milk washed, a lot of that has been toned way down. It's not bad. It defies your expectations. It's a little bit unusual. It has strong, but not overpowering lemon notes. It is mellow. It is approachable to sweet. You know, if I was gonna make this again, I would rebalance in favor of stronger bourbon, either higher proof or more of it, because the actual bourbon is getting a little bit lost in this. This ends up kind of feeling like a very pleasant, sophisticated lemon candy. But on the whole, what a neat drink, and certainly not ruined and certainly not cursed, just strange. You know what, now that I'm drinking it, yeah, of course, that is the bourbon. I am getting the bourbon in there. I just want there to be more. Oh no, yeah, there's a lot of peanut at the end there, yeah, okay. I get that nutty bourbon, yes, I'm finding it now. Mugler, you failed to ruin this drink. You made it awesome. It has like such a weird, I don't know what that is. There's like a note at the end there, it's like very, floral, almost. I wonder what's going on there, you know? When you get into the chemistry of something like this, there's so many variables, all kind of contributing to the final drink at the end there, that it's hard to know who is doing what in there, so to speak. So it's a very interesting drink. Not ruined, kind of a winner. So far, we've really only had one truly cursed cocktail. That was the Whiskey Smash Bros. But I have low hopes for the next one. One more drink in this episode of Ruin a Drink by Changing One Word comes from M, member of my Patreon and regular in the Discord. Thank you, M, for suggesting 3 dots and a Mrs. Dash. Now, if you don't know the 3 dots and a dash, 3 dots and a dash is a famous tiki drink, refers to the Morse code signal for the ... dash, which means victory. It was a World War II thing that Don Beach came up with. Very awesome drink. Very awesome bar as well that shares that name in Chicago. Really had a wonderful time there. Thank you so much, Tyler, for saying so many wonderful things and for serving me so many wonderful drinks. Great time. I actually have a 3 dots and a dash tiki mug that I briefly thought about putting this drink into, but then I realized I don't want to besmirch the mug with the drink I'm about to make for it. So let's give this a shot. Now, the main thing you have to understand is a 3 dots and a dash has rum, lime juice, orange juice, honey syrup, falernum, allspice dram, all of that, right? When I think about that recipe and how to make it into a Mrs. Dash, I think, well, allspice dram is a very sweet liqueur that has a lot of spices in it. It's the spice package in this drink. So if I swap that out for a Mrs. Dash syrup, I took some Mrs. Dash and I made an extract of it in ethanol with my ultrasonic transducer, and then I turned that into a syrup. And this is a potent Mrs. Dash syrup. I went to quite a bit of trouble to make this, and then when I smelled it, I realized I probably could have just melted a bouillon cube into some simple syrup, but that wouldn't have been 100% correct, because one of the main things about Mrs. Dash is that they have no salt. That's like the deal. It's supposed to be like a salt alternative for seasoning for some reason. So it smells like soup broth, but I know that if I had used a bouillon cube, this would be salty as hell. So part of me thinks this is gonna be gross. Part of me thinks it might not be as gross as I think, because a really salty drink is disgusting. Normally you would make this not in a blender, but for technical production reasons, I'm gonna use a blender. It's just the easiest way for me to shoot today. Next time we'll have a drink mixer actually operational. So let's get going. We're gonna go right down from the top. We want 1.5 ounces of aged Martinique rum agricole. I don't have any aged agricole. Why don't we split this then? We'll do 3/4 of an ounce rum JM. That's an agricole. Has a lot of grassy, sort of fumey notes. And the other rum I would have instantly grabbed is in the other room. I'm not gonna go run around looking for that, but actually, Hamilton Rum Zombie Blend will be fine here. This is excellent. Has a little bit of everything. 3/4 of an ounce of Hamilton Rum Zombie Blend. I would have just gone for Hamilton's 86 Demerara, but that's in another room. This one's here. This is good. In any event, it's probably an abuse of this rum anyway. I was wrong. Hamilton 86 is right here, and it's a good thing it was, because I need it anyway. So, El Dorado is another brand of Demerara rums. 1/2 ounce of Demerara rum. 1/2 ounce of lime juice. There we go. 1/2 ounce of orange juice, which I put here. 1/2 ounce of honey syrup. Honey syrup is nothing more than honey with just enough water added to make it pourable. A lot of people use a 3-to-1 ratio, so 3 parts honey to 1 part water. 1/2 ounce of honey syrup. 1/2 ounce of falernum. Then it calls for 1/4 ounce of allspice dram. I am not going to use allspice dram. I'm going to use my Mrs. Dash. And since I went to 1/2 ounce of falernum, what the heck, we'll use 1/2 ounce here too. Just step it all up. This is sort of the thing that makes this drink weird, so we gotta really use our Mrs. Dash syrup. Some ice cubes. And here we go, 3 dots and a Mrs. Dash. I am expecting this to be terrible. Now, 3 dots and a dash should have a cherry or 3 cherries and a pineapple slice cube on there for 3 dots and a dash. I'm not gonna waste any effort garnishing my 3 dots and a Mrs. Dash. Smells sulfurous. Oh, oh, ah. Oh, yeah, okay, so it's, like I said, it tastes like drinking bouillon, a lot like that, with certain, burning tire notes. I guess the one thing it's got going for it is that it's not salty, so it achieves this without being like a salty drink will make you sick, and you'll feel like it's gonna make you sick right away. So it doesn't have that going on. It tastes really weird and very unpleasant, and yet somehow balanced, like it should, like it's intentional, like this drink wants to taste like this, but I don't want this drink. The honey gets a little bit lost. The lingering, savory Mrs. Dash notes are just lingering. They really just chill out and linger. I'm not into it. I don't like it. It's bad. It's a truly bad drink. Would I call it cursed? I would. I'm gonna call this drink cursed. It's not cursed to the point where I can't drink it, but it's definitely cursed to the point where the ordinary bear cannot drink it. No one wants this. I truly don't believe anybody would want this drink. It's a bad drink. I think this drink is getting sent back. Thank you, M, for ruining 3 dots and a dash with 1 word. That word being Mrs. It's like a weird cherry note that shows up from this confluence of flavors for a brief moment, but then it turns very much into soup And then it really turns into soup. Then it really turns into, it's not rosemary. Basil, thyme, I don't know. Nothing I want in a cocktail typically. Certainly not in this. Guys, we did it. We ruined them. Actually, I have to say, of the drinks, so the most cursed drinks, by far these two. This was the Whiskey Smash Bro. Thank you, Eyes of Sin. And the 3 dots and a Mrs. Dash. Thank you, M. Least cursed, and it looks hideous now because it's been sitting here this whole time I'm filming, was this. This was the Pine Colada. I actually thought this was really interesting. It is now at room temperature, but I like this drink. I think this drink is awesome, and there's more to be done there. This drink, this feels like a golden age of cocktails drink, but like one that would be forgotten. This is the Boston Sour Milk. Totally on point, intentional. Everything about it is working. I just still don't really love it. I think a standard Boston Sour or Whiskey Sour is better. And of course, our 3 Mile Island iced tea, virtually indistinguishable from a Long Island iced tea, although it is, some stuff is falling out of solution on the top here. I don't know. There's some kind of precipitate forming across the surface of this drink. I don't know what that is. Possibly it's coming off of these cherries. I don't want to drink any more of that. There's some kind of stuff on the top of the drink. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on this episode of HTD. Please like and subscribe if you can find it in your heart. If you really love the show and you would like to see it continue, please check out patreon.com/howtodrink. It does make all of this possible. Without Patreon, How to Drink cannot exist. So many patrons made this episode possible with their suggestions. So I want to thank you to certainly Mugley, M, and Eyes of Sin. Thank you all so much. And so many other people suggested. I mean, I can only put so many into an episode, but thank you all for your suggestions and your help. And I'll see you guys soon in another HTD. Until then, good night and good luck. I really like that pine note. That is cool.